wishing for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name. Yes, scream.
Hey folks, yep, I'm back. Well, I'm kind of back. So, this particular video, I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning and had no idea why. Went back to bed 5. Got up at 6:45 with this video in mind. Now, this is not going to be, more than likely, a short video. Because I feel like I maybe owe a little more of an explanation. And I'm not going to air my family dynamics or politics. It's, number one, it's none of your business. Number two, I'm not one to do that. However, the title of this video is A Grain of Sand. Yes, a grain of sand. And the thought hit me this morning while I was up that I've always said that we as individuals, are nothing but a grain of sand on this great big beautiful planet we call Mother Earth. Well, as I've gotten to thinking over the last, coming up on 5 weeks, 4 weeks, over 4 weeks of my absolute emotional psychological crash, which required me to reevaluate what's important to me. Well, so before I started this video, I was going through some of the older pictures of the older circle down south when we had to tear it apart because of progress and a pipeline. And then the pictures of the building of the new circle, which by the time it was done, it was an absolute beauty of a circle. And that reminded me that in my heart, I am still, have been, and will be a pagan minister. In my personal life, I try to conduct myself as such. When I'm out in the community, I try to conduct myself as such. However, in my admittance over the last year and a half, as I have found myself sliding down into a cesspool of mental illness that I never realized was that bad, I begin to take for granted and mistreat those closest to me. So one of the things that, now that I'm communicating with counsel again, because quite frankly, I couldn't hear a damn thing they said, I've been reminded of the reality of a grain of sand. A single grain of sand that moves incorrectly can cause a mudslide. A single grain of sand that moves incorrectly under a bunch of snow can cause a snowslide. And many times we have seen grains of sand that have slipped and caused earthquakes, tsunamis. We do not realize how important every human being is on this planet. Now, while doing this video, you may see me stare off into space because my brain will backfire. That is a part of what's going on. My brain will do some of the funniest things. So, if I'm talking slow, and that aggravates you, change channel. And if my brain skitzing on occasion bothers you, I can't apologize for that. And this is kind of another thing that my brain does, is it skips from topic to topic. I've always kind of done that, but it's really gotten bad over the last 2 years, really, to be honest. So, in the idea of a grain of sand, I, you, whoever watches these videos, I don't know if you realize how important you are in the people's lives that you're involved with. As the founding minister of the House of Pagans, which over the last 20, almost 22 years, has been named many different things, but it always seems to come right back to the House of Pagans. I've often wondered if or how many lives I've had a positive impact on. I mean, people are always in a real big hurry to tell you when you've screwed up, to tell you when you have ruined their life. But they're generally not real quick to tell you, thank you for the things you've done. Now, understand, I never became a minister to get a thank you. I never took my path as a shaman for a pat on the back and a hoorah and a thank you. As a human being, it is nice. It's nice to be appreciated for the things that you do. So many people nowadays don't realize that. They don't care. And I think I 4 or 5 weeks ago, when I really hit my lowest, when I bottomed out, was when my destructive behavior destroyed the very foundation in which I hung on to. So we are working on trying to rebuild that foundation. But the first thing I had to do as that grain of sand that had such a profound effect on some people that I did not realize that I was taking the situation for granted. So when you find yourself becoming involved in the human race, even though you may not think you ever have any effect on anyone, good, bad, or indifferent, I have to tell you that you do. Because if you look at things like the time-space continuum and you look at cause and effect and not even pulling karma into it, but cause and effect by itself. The day you are born, the effect that you have becomes apparent. I don't mean apparent as in your parent. I mean apparent as in obvious. And I guess the only thing I only ever wanted to do as a minister in the pagan community was to give people a different insight, to give people a different idea other than the socialistic ideological ideas, sorry, brain backfired, a different philosophical idea. And when we get lost, and it's something that we do, everybody does it at some point in their life, they get lost as to where they're going, what they think they want, how they're going to get there. Some people come out of it by stepping on others to get where they want to be. Some people come out of it with the philosophy of, I don't want to step on others. I don't want to hurt other people. Well, if you think you can live this life and not hurt anyone, you're living a pipe dream, because that's impossible. You cannot live this life and not hurt anyone. There goes back to the grain of sand. If you imagine yourself as a part of something bigger than yourself, if you can imagine yourself as a piece of a puzzle, then you can realize what your part is as a grain of sand involved in Mother Earth and society. I've always thought that one single person could not really make that big a difference. Then I saw the outcome when House of Pagans was at its highest as far as numbers go. I saw that the ragtag little group that I started forming in 1999 had become something that people really wanted to attend and be a part of. Granted, each one of those specks of sand that were a part of that circle, many of them had a power-hungry agenda. Some of them had a destructive agenda. And it used to hurt me to no end to try to understand what it was I was doing, what it was we were doing that caused them so much anger. I don't guess I ever figured it out. But my idea is that when you take people outside of their comfort zone, outside of their norm, outside of their typical day-to-day cubicle mentality, it scares the shit out of them, quite honestly, because they don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it. I get it. I've been there. I'm there right now. I am so far outside of my comfort zone, it's not even funny. But I am remembering that I am a speck of sand out of the entire planet of sand, dirt, minerals, metals, what have you. But I've also had to realize that to coin a couple of cliches here, words matter. I've always known that. But over the last couple of years, I really haven't exercised it because of the state of mind I was in. And the fact that in my mind, I was truly being challenged. And I was truly in a place where I had to fight. Because that's all I've known. I've since learned and am still learning that fight, just like choosing your battles, you have to choose your fights responsibly. You have to be careful your accusations. You have to be careful who and why you attack, and make certain that the reason you're attacking is true. Now, you may ask, what does that have to do with a speck of sand or a grain of sand? Everything. Because your actions not only affect you, but it also affects those around you that love you. And I'm going to get those comments that say, well, what if you have no one that loves you? Well, I disagree with that. People may have people that don't love them the way they want them to. But everybody, at some point in their life, maybe not today, maybe not right this second at the time you watch this recording, but at some point, at some time during your life, someone loves or loved you. Now, you can argue the point all day. I don't care. Perception of love is yours, just like perception of love is mine. But when we perceive that we are unwanted, unloved, uncared for, we begin to fall into a self-destructive pattern where you as a grain of sand can start shifting and moving around and rocking around and having a profound effect on other grains of sand around you, thereby causing those grains of sand to move around and jump around and get crazy. Well, before you know it, you have maybe an entire beach of sand that has loosened and begins to wash away. Just take the analogy for what it is. But one thing that we all have to remember is we are all a member of a larger community of grains of sand. And just like sand through a sand clock, right? Our time here on this planet is numbered. Our sand clock does not get turned over to start over with the same grains of sand. Those of us that believe in reincarnation, when you're reincarnated, you don't come back with the same memories, the same ideas, the same knowledge that you had in a prior lifetime. Even if you've reached out in this lifetime to see it, to find it, to acknowledge it. It's been my experience working with people that you never truly gain those memories. We gain snippets, we gain blips, we gain little movies that we may call visions. But when our sand runs out, we are replaced by another set of sand, another grain of sand. So the thing that may be hard for some of you to listen to, and I'll give you that warning right this minute, this next phrase that I'm fixing to make might be hard for some of you to listen to. So if you want to exit, do it now. As a pagan minister, my belief is we are reincarnated. We do come back. We do backfired. We do get to relive some of the things that we need to relive, in my opinion. The problem is we don't get to take the memories with us of where we screwed it up the last time. So here's the hard part you may not like. When your time runs out in this lifetime, unless something absolutely catastrophically wonderful happens, when your time runs out, you're done. That's it. This body is through. It is time for your grain of sand to be replaced with another. But you have to remember, you're not the only grain of sand that has run out of time. It has always been my philosophy and my idea in that I want to make a positive effect. I want to be remembered for the good things I did, as well as the bad things I screwed up, so maybe somebody else won't do the same thing. So, the whole point to the whole video is time continues on, whether we're here or not. the best thing we can do as a grain of sand on the planet, the only thing we can do is the best that we can. Now, one of the things I might suggest is when you feel yourself slipping and you feel yourself going down that uncontrollable rabbit hole, I recommend maybe you do the hardest thing in the world there is to do. And that is take a breath, figure out a safe place, figure out a safe space, and figure out a way that you can stop the momentum of you going down that hole. Now, folks, I'm still working on how to do that. I'm in different types of counseling situations to give me more psychological tools, if you will, for my toolbox that I can better handle what's going on with me. I'm going to try to do more recorded videos. I don't know until I can figure out what's causing my brain to backfire if I will do any live videos for a while. But I want you, those of you that are actual members of the House of Pagans and Open Pagan Church, feel free to ask Clint and Cindy questions. They are two very beautiful, wise people in their own right. They're the ones that have taken over the HOP and the OPC. I've kind of taken a back seat while I take care of me for a while. I think we all have to do it on occasion. I want you to know that I wish each and every one of you well. And at the time of this video, November of 2021, we're moving into the holiday season where it is really hard for some people. And if things don't line themselves out pretty quick, they're going to be really hard on me as well. But I have to keep some type of positive thought process. Otherwise, I'll find myself at the bottom of the barrel and not caring whether or not I climb out. I hope each of you find your ladder to climb out of whatever hole you're in. I'm still out there. If you want to ask questions, Clint and Cindy both know how to get in touch with me. I'm easy to find. If you have questions, I'll answer what I can, because it helps me to help others. I want to thank you very much for taking the time out of your day, those of you that have done, watching this video. I do ask you to click like and click subscribe and drop your comments down below. And of course, this video will be uploaded to all of our archive sites. But love and blessings to you all. And if you're watching this month, November of 2021, I wish you well in the upcoming holiday season. Blessings to you and yours. Have a great day.
We must merely make a strive, Savannah. I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk, Savannah.